welcome to the first in the series of reviews. Today I'm going to be reviewing this. This is my Simcentra ale. It's around about 5%, and as you can see it's a little bit cloudy. It's just come in from the shed of doom. I did a big batch of it. It's not a small batch, this was quite a big batch, this one. However, let's give it a pour into the Spiegelau glass of doom. Oh, I love that. I do. Giving it a pour in there. And just be a little bit aggressive, so build up a little bit of a head on it. There we go. Beautiful. Look at that. Doesn't that look inviting, folks? Hey, forgive the noise of the airplanes going over. Now, what can I tell you about this Simcentra ale? Well, it's been in the shed of doom for probably 2 months now, there or thereabouts, and I can't tell you exactly the recipe I used. I've lost it. I need to write these things down on the computer more, don't I, folks? I keep saying this to people, make sure you write your recipes down, and I don't even do it myself. However, those that know me will know I don't like really bitter ales, so the recipe I would have gone for would have been within reasonable constraints and IBUs. So I'm not expecting this to be too bitter. I'm expecting it to have lots of flavours. We've got Simcoe in there. Now I'm going to read out to you the properties of these particular hops. So we'll split it up. We've got Simcentra, Simcoe. So Simcoe, aromas of passion fruit, apricot, intense pine and woodsy aroma. Centennial, medium intensity floral and citrus lemon tones. And Citra, strong citrus and tropical tones of grapefruit, melon, lime, gooseberry, passion fruit and lychee. There you go. So this is going to be quite a complex beer. It might even be more than 5.5%, you know. It's leaning towards an IPA. It's not really an IPA. It's close to an IPA. It's not really, you know, it's 6% or whatever. But it's there, you know, it's on the way. So, and it's keeping its head, which is absolutely fantastic. There we go. I think, throw in some crystal, but we'll give it a little bit of a smell. So yeah, immediately I'm getting Simcoe. You know, I've done a Simcoe beer on its own a while ago, and it was a little bit too bitter because I didn't really do a proper recipe on it. I just threw some in and didn't really weigh out the IBUs and all that kind of stuff. Didn't figure it out before I made the recipe. But it does have a certain smell to it, and it's really, really, really fruity. This is beautiful beer. So let's dive in, folks. Oh my word. That's spot on. Now, for those who don't like complex beers, this would be right up your street. Although it's got those 3 hops in, the Simcoe, Centennial and Citra, it's not overly complicated. There is a really nice fruity note in there. I'm getting more, I would say, of sort of apricot, passion fruit kind of tones. So the Simcoe is coming through, and on the back end you get that sort of Citra tone, you know, the sort of lemony tone on the back there. And the best thing about it is it keeps its head. Look at that, isn't that fantastic? Just goes to show, folks, what you can do, doesn't it, with a little bit of patience. And this is out of a bottle, folks. You know, this hasn't come out of a keg. Look at that, it's keeping its head, it's beautiful. Granted, it's not clear, but then you know, it's not really had long enough to clear, and I've not cold crashed it in the fridge. I literally just left it in the fridge for about an hour just to get some coldness in it, because I do like them a little bit cold, you know, not necessarily at room temperature. Let's have another dive in and see if I can explain it a little bit better. There's a very slight caramelly hit, but most of all it's lemony, it's passion fruity, it's all of those wonderful hops working really well together, bringing out this really smooth but refreshing flavour of you know, citrus and apricot and lemon. Lemon? Yeah, there is some lemon in there. Let's have a look at this piece of paper, see what else, if this can help me explain. Grapefruit, sharp, maybe a little bit of sharpness in there, but not overpowering. Apricot, passion fruit. You know what? This is an ace beer. It really is. It's probably one of the best ones I've done, folks. It's keeping its head. I mean, you know, I've been chatting to you for what, 5 minutes or so now. The head is still there. Just over a finger's worth of head. If you've got girly hands like me, it's probably, you know, a finger's worth. But it really tastes lovely. You can tell there is not an awful amount of aroma on there, but I'm comparing that to, I tasted a Brewdog beer yesterday, and it was a session ale, a very small bottle, 330 ml of a session ale, and you open it up and the hops hit you in the face. It's not quite as hoppy as that, but you do get the hit of the hops there, enough there that it invites you to drink it as you bring it up to your mouth. You know, you can smell it as it gets to there. You can smell the hops, and I love that. I love that when you bring it up to your mouth, you can almost taste it, and you know, the taste buds in the corner of your cheeks there tingle before you've even brought it up to your mouth. And that to me is the workings of an excellent beer. And again, you can see for yourself, it's keeping the head, lovely head on that. Let's just really try and release some of those flavours a little bit. Yeah, maybe a little bit of pine in there too. I mean, I said earlier that it's not overly complicated, but I guess it is. Well, not overly complicated. It's a little bit complicated because there's an awful lot going on in here, but it's not overpowering, and that's the key. You know, I do like hoppy beers now, but I don't like them too complicated. I don't like them massively hopped to the point where, you know, you can't taste the malt and all you can taste is this sort of sharpness and bitterness. I don't like that. I like to be able to sip the beer and be able to sort of see if I can pick out those subtle tones, you know, like the apricot and the passion fruit and that kind of thing. And with this beer, you can just about do that, folks. And it's a damn shame because I'm going to have to do this recipe from scratch again, aren't I? I'm pretty sure I ran this one through a spreadsheet of mine that I've got lying around, and I found it on an Australian website. And what it enables you to do is basically it's based around extract and Cooper's kits. Okay, yeah, I know we don't like Cooper's kits, folks, but they're all right to use as a base. And you can put, you know, you can select a Cooper's kit or you can choose malt extract, and then you can type in your hops and the bitterness of those hops, and then it will work out roughly the IBUs you're going to get if you follow that particular recipe. And there's a little picture of a pint in there as well, so you get an idea as to the sort of colour that you're going to end up with if you make that particular beer. You can also put in adjuncts and it works out, you know, if you put in things like maltodextrin, sugar and crystal malt and that kind of stuff to bring the, you know, the sort of sweetness out. It works it all out and it gives you a rough idea as to how bitter it's going to be and whether it matches the style of beer that you're aiming for as well. So it's a pretty decent website. It's worth looking for on the website if you can find it. I'll see if I can find a link to it, folks, and I'll put it underneath here for those of you that are interested in doing extract beers and having a look at this spreadsheet and see whether it's your kind of thing or not. Really easy to use. I mean, for someone like me who is a little bit cautious of going a little bit too bitter when I throw a recipe together, it's ideal because it does get very close indeed to what it says on the spreadsheet. The style of beer and you know, the bitterness is very close to what it suggests you're going to end up with. And this is a lovely beer, folks. I'm not lying to you. Some would say perhaps it's a little bit too sweet, but that's the initial hit. You get a little bit of sweetness there, and on the back you get that bitterness, and it balances itself out. I guess the best thing to say about this is it's a well balanced beer. You've got everything. You've got something for everything in this. You really have something for everything, something for everybody. That's what I meant to say. And yeah, it just goes to show, with a little bit of time and a spreadsheet available to you, you can have a little bit of a play around and create something that is unique to yourself, that perhaps someone else hasn't really thought about doing. And yes, there are loads of recipes on the internet, and you know, you could spend the rest of your life going through all these recipes on the internet, or you could just make one up yourself. And I think there is more satisfaction to be had from creating your own recipe than there is to just be trying somebody else's and then saying, well, that's a really nice beer. You know, you make it yourself, as I have with this one, with just some hops lying around. There's my list of hops actually, folks, that I've got, and all I did was, I go, right, I'm going to pick 3 hops, that one and that one, that roughly share the same properties. So I chose obviously the Simcoe, the Citra and the Centennial, and they all have different alpha acids, high percentages, low percentages, that kind of thing. And you come up with something yourself, and sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. But when it does work out, folks, as it clearly has in this case, you end up with a really amazing beer and a satisfaction that you did this, you created this thing yourself, and it's just wonderful. So thank you for watching, boys and girls. I hope you found this interesting. I'm going to have a few more coming up. I'm going to be having a taste test on the Wherry. That's coming up soon. I've got a Cascade Ale that I made as a single hop Cascade. Nothing complicated about that one, but I just wanted to show you, because those that have been following me will know that I like the Cascade on its own, and I'm forever talking about it, and it's about time I really sort of had a little drink of one on camera. It's just to give you an idea as to what it tastes like. I've got the Hallertau Lager coming up too. I'll give you a taste test on that. It's a really nice lager, a Euro lager style, so it's quite bitter in that it really is quite close to the Euro style of lagers. You know, that you get that bitterness in a Euro lager, but it's not too bitter. You know what I mean. What else have I got out there in the shed of doom? Stay tuned, and we'll go through it all, and we'll have fun along the way. We'll have a chat, and you know, you leave me your comments below. Give me the thumbs up or the thumbs down, as some people have been doing, But if you're going to take the time to give me the thumbs down, folks, at least leave a message and tell me why you're giving me the thumbs down. Don't hide behind a virtual thumb. Alright? If you don't like it, don't watch and go and watch CraigTube. Alright? So thanks again, and I'll see you on the next one. Ta-da!